Hello and good evening, everyone, denizens of the amphitheater. It is a strange day for all of us, as this is a new thingy. We haven't been. I don't remember the last time we streamed on a Thursday. Tabletop read stuff, but that's okay because we're live. It's the premiere of our new show, but not new to all of us. Blaze in the Dark, Blood In, Blood Out, episode 1, A Stab in the Dark. So, really excited to be back. We have been talking about doing this for a very long time, and I somehow rolled a nat 20 persuasion check to get it over here, and we're gonna have a good time. Really quickly, a couple of amphitheater related notes before we kick it in to what is sure to be a very deadly gear. If you haven't met Hannah, you'll find out really quickly. Tomorrow I think there's going to be no AMGMs because Bill is still traveling or is jet lagged, etc. So get some rest, Bill. And so that'll be back on next Friday morning. Eulalia 5e, a Redwall story, which was supposed to be Tuesday, is this coming Saturday, 5:00 p.m. Eastern time. Very special episode. Starting off with a very climactic event, resolving a Zone of Truth spell and a bit of a guest in D&D, Jordan Lee, as the Children of Destiny continue to rub elbows and confront the unwanted and save Redwall Abbey. And a bunch of other really cool stuff, especially if you're new. Make sure to give us a follow. That's would be really awesome. Also, something that's really cool that you can do if you think that we're doing a particularly awesome job, you can tip us at our Ko-fi, kofi.com/the amphitheater. That would be super appreciated as well. And because, actual plays can be kind of tiring and stuff. So, all that rigmarole done. I forgot that I didn't even introduce me and myself and I. My name is Jacob Plick, co-founder of the Amphitheater. Typically, Eulalia 5e Redwall story. And I'm playing in this ridiculous shenanigans, playing Teddy. Oh my god, what is my playbook? I don't even know my playbook. Hound! And I have a dog, but we'll talk about that later. In the meanwhile, in between while, I am not the only one here, after all. Isn't that right, Hannah? Who are you and who are you playing?
Hello, all. My name is Hannah. I am playing our group's leech, who is Dr. Perdita Glimmerdusk. And I would just like to say that she is here to improve Duskfall, to make it a better place, one body at a time.
Lovely. You love to see it. Ooh, looks like my captions are not working. I will figure that out in a minute. In the meantime, Lynn, who are you and who are you playing?
Hey everyone, I'm Lynn, and I am playing the group's Whisper Nell. So that there are fun things that can be done after death, of course.
I don't like it. I don't like it at all. Josh, just save us from ourselves. Who are you and who are you playing?
Probably the most normal character here. I am playing the group's Lurk. His name is Avanti Writer, aka Hush. So he's sort of the espionage sort of type to sneak in and get out for everybody. But he also walks the path between sort of the realm of spirits and the realm of the real world. So it's a tight little, I guess, a little tightrope I'm sort of walking between the two worlds. So yeah, that's me.
Wonderful. And the guy that gets to deal with it all, Nate. What's happening, man? Who are you?
What's going on, everybody? I'm Nathan, use he, him pronouns, and I'll be the narrator for this, what will sure to be an amazing story. It will be based off our group and what they want to do. No rails here. In fact, I don't even make plans hardly anymore because I know what's going to happen to them with this group. A couple of things up front is this is our third season together. We spent 2 seasons on stream on another channel. And so we're coming back for third. This will be all new characters, not quite starting brand new. This is our episode 1 here on the stream, but we played I think 4 or 5 episodes before this to kind of get warmed up, to get some prequel. To get some backstory built, and to really jump into what is the story that we want to tell. As kind of a preamble to that, we'll talk about Blades in the Dark here in a minute. But first, we talk about safety, because that is number one thing that we always want to talk about, especially in games we all run. Even though we've run together for countless hours, we still want to make sure we're all being safe as possible, and you all are, as an audience, are as safe as possible. So we're using lines and veils. Our lines are basically sexual violence of any kind, coercion, anything that goes along in that means, and then anything that is against someone's identity, any self-identifying anger, hate, anything like that would be against someone's identity in whatever form or fashion that is. We basically, lines are things we don't want in our normal world, so we don't want them in this world, and we will not have them. You won't hear me use them, players use them, anything like that. So it's just like we wrote them out of existence. Our veils are things that we can talk about the after effects or what could happen, but we won't go into them on screen. And our veils are sex and torture, the two big ones. There may be others that come up. You may see us at times give thumbs up or thumbs down if things are particularly a little bit dicey, and we want to make sure we're checking in with each other with a thumbs up. And so if you see us do that, that's why we're doing that, just to make sure we as people are okay. There also could be a time where something goes too far and something gets said that doesn't need to be said. So you'll see us, we'll completely stop everything. No matter what we're doing, we'll stop everything. We'll make sure, check in with each other, make sure we're okay. We'll start back up when we're ready. Again, our safety, your safety is number one. I say all that because our first 2 seasons were basically like about a plucky little crew coming up in the world and fighting against the other gangs and things like that. This story will not be like that. This story will be more grim dark. So I'm letting everyone know up front, there will be adult themes that we run into. There will be themes of murder and anger and righteous vengeance. I'm guaranteeing that. So if that's not what you were looking for, then I would advise to move to something else. I just wanted to let everybody know up front what we're dealing with here. Blades in the Dark. Blades in the Dark system by John Harper, Evil Hat Games. D6 based system that is basically crews in 1900s, early 1900s, late 1800s era. Think Victorian era, London, Venice, Mumbai, Jakarta, places like that, large cities. The area that will be around is Duskwall, but basically it's a chain of islands that have conglomerated together after apocalyptic events that led to the breaking of the world, led to the sun being struck from the sky. So we're in perpetual dark and perpetual cold. It also led to the afterlife being closed off. So spirits, as they're released from their human captivity, are set to run loose within the city itself or outside. The city is run on what they call electroplasm, which is basically like oil from ancient beasts, ancient leviathans, that demon beasts that roam the earth and roam the waters, and people are used to hunt those things down. We'll be explaining some of the things that goes on. So if you have questions, anything like that, throw them in a chat, ask us before or afterwards. We're always willing to help and see where we go. But for now, that's Blades in the Dark.
Nice intro. Appreciate that, Nate. Thank you very, very much. Also, I think I forgot to ask you earlier, Nate, is because typically what I like to do when I run a game on the amphitheater, I like to have a little phrase to throw to the intro, but I didn't ask you, so I'm putting you on the spot. What is that for you?
What is the phrase that gets us going?
Yeah.
The time of a reckoning is nigh.
Oh shit! Fucking A! Sabric, do the thing!
we are back.
Take it away, Nate.
All right, so let's jump into Blades in the Dark, Season 3, Blood In, Blood Out. Our players each find themselves startled awake inside a carriage. It is an opulent thing, something you've probably never ridden in before, but you feel the bumps in the road, you feel the creak of the wheels, you hear the clip-clop of the large goats that are used to pull this thing as it slowly makes its way down a street. You smell maybe what could be wood, even something that is almost unheard of. And across from you, as you open up your eyes and kind of come to finally, sits Lord Skurlock, lead vampire for the city. And a powerful presence, to say the least. Ice cold in his demeanor, and yet looks like a noble person from a couple centuries back. Lord Skurlock sits and stirs at a drink emptily and looks over at you all and says, "I'm glad that you have awoken. I apologize that it took this long to get going, but here we are. You'll find your body may not quite work in the way that you thought it would, or after a while, it seems I had to, well, it's taken some time since you came into my presence. And time is what you all needed in order to heal, in order to bring you back, at least what I could." And Nell, you think for a brief instant that his eyes land on you and then move across. He says, "I have, at my own great expense, healed you. And I, at my own great expense, brought you to work for me. You see, the city you wake up to, the city of Duskfall that you wake up to, is not the one you left last. Your former boss, manager, what is the mortal's word use? That pretend noble Marcus Strangford, you see, well, he's governor of the city now. After you all released the demon that killed the city council, he went to the governor and told them that only he could put a stop to this. Only he can make all of this work again, that the Bluecoats and the Spirit Wardens and everyone that was in power, that they were behind this a little bit, that they had no control over what was going on, and he could fix all that. And all he needed was someone to blame this on. And so now you know why you're here. Alone, friendless, you have no one else. Well, what you do have is a sense of revenge. And I'm going to put you on that path. Where you go from here is up to you, but I'll at least start you down that road. You see, you ruined many plans that I had. My envoy from the Spirit Wardens was outed and sent somewhere else. My city council members that I had in my pockets for decades, at my own great expense, are dead. And now I have someone else that takes over the city. But I'll allow you the ability to repent from those mistakes and to work your way back into the good graces of the city of Duskfall. Is this acceptable?
It is an honor, Lord Skurlock. And yes.
So what does Nell look like as the camera pans across to the eager, smiling face of Nell, who spoke first, spoke with such fervor and vigor? What do we see when we see Nell?
Nell is a Asian girl, about late teens, just covered in the long chin length, kind of waxy hair. She has the look of someone that has always, when you break fever, you have that kind of sweatiness, your hair's kind of feels gross. She looks like that all the time. She wears her ratty gray poncho, her hood up. She smiles.
Yes, I thought you might leap at the chance. But what of the others? Should I drop you off now, or should we continue to go down this path? And he kind of looks to you all individually. Who speaks next?
I think so. First things first. As we woke up, are we restrained in any way?
Nope.
Okay.
You even have your gun by your side.
That's interesting. As Teddy's looking at his prized possession, this beautiful rifle, and Teddy typically is wearing a backwards baseball cap and a teddy bear mask on, kind of up front right here, unless he's on a mission, in which it's down, and he's wearing a long red, not quite dress shirt, like more like a polo with like the little buttons that go down to here, black suspenders, and these like green, like almost army cargo pants with matching boots. And he is immediately incensed with like this immediate anger at being displaced in this way. Where's my fucking dog?
You look down and your dog is laying at your feet.
And he immediately, as soon as he says that, he like, and the cart's moving, right?
Absolutely, yeah. Slowly. Yep.
He's gonna go for the door.
You find the doors are locked. He says,
me out.
once you go out, you don't come back in.
That's kind of the fucking idea.
Okay. He raps twice on the door, and he kind of looks at the out the window, and there's shades that are down the side of this window, and he kind of flicks open. He goes, we were here anyway. Good. And as he does, he goes and pushes the door, and the door slowly opens. He says, by all means.
Teddy, before you leave, maybe we could just have like a chat. Like, we appreciate that you like kept us alive or something, and like we have a lot of questions, but like maybe we need to have a little family meeting.
Yeah, Skurlock looks at you and says, Doctor, I expected as much. I'll step out and wait for your answer outside. So when the camera pans to Dr. Glimmerdusk, what do they see?
Dr. Perdita Glimmerdusk is an academic in training. She is an enthusiast of all things death related, and she probably physically looks late 20s, brunette, just a fairly average looking woman. But she's always got knives kind of in her fingers at her side, just ready to fillet open anything to retrieve a bone if it interests her. So, but at this moment, she's definitely concerned about Teddy leaving this cart without the rest of us. So,
okay. Skurlock glides out of this cart. Glide is the best way. It's an unnatural movement, as if a breeze has passed by your face and you don't know that he's gone until he's gone. The door stands wide open. The last member of the party, Avanti, what are you doing?
He's probably reaching into like this large woolen coat that he has on and like reaching for a flask because I don't know what the fuck's going on right now.
Yeah.
Sort of like takes like a long drag of it.
It is the best. It is the best alcohol you've ever had.
Neil, what is this thing? It is not like us. I mean, maybe more like Perdita, I suppose, of the whole creepy thing, but... I don't mean it offensive, but please don't look at me like that.
Oh, he is wonderful. If I think what the rumors are correct, then could be a very powerful friend or a very powerful enemy. I think he is what is it? Soul that has been put into a dead corpse. A vampire, I think. But he seems to want us still alive. If he wanted us dead, we would already be dead.
See, the last thing you got excited about ended up exploding an entire tower. So your excitement is my ultimate fear right now. What are we going to do about all this? How long has it been since we've been out? We have any ideas?
Don't know. Enough to heal? But we are alive.
And like he starts like checking his neck for bite marks at this point.
Oh, that's not how that works.
Are you coming? We can't be out here all day.
Okay, we have to assume he can hear us.
Yes.
Maybe for the interim, it is safer for us to get our bearings than to separate. Because at this point, we're the only ones that we know modernly. We don't know how much time has passed, and we don't know if anyone we know is alive, including Lavender. So I would really appreciate it if we all stuck together until we got a better idea of what's happening in Duskfall. Teddy, is that something you can live with?
And he'll kind of like take a knee and sort of like ruffle Ollie's fur, which for the folks at home, Ollie is a like a kind of blue and yellow Aussie Shepherd, and I think it makes sense to just sit for a minute. But I will just state that my intent is to shoot that man in the head.
Don't do that.
That's why I'm stating it. That's why I didn't do it.
Not for him. For you. It would be very bad for you, I think.
I've been a prisoner before. I don't like that I was again.
Teddy, this may be an opportunity that will only come once if we're lucky. But I think the tenor of our friend is that if you leave, you're not coming back. But also, if you leave, is it okay if I collect you? I think you're very interesting, and I would hate to lose you to whatever happens afterwards.
And one thing I forgot to mention is Teddy is like uncomfortably young looking. Like he looks like he's 14 with like the sixth grader, like 5 o'clock peach fuzz, and he looks at Nell and he starts to laugh. You know, because that made me so fucking uncomfortable, I'll stay.
Good.
So no, you can definitely, even if something bad happens, you definitely can't do. No, absolutely no, nope.
Okay. Who steps out first?
Oh, I thought we were already outside, like on the.
You all tell me.
No, we're inside the cart.
Okay.
Perdita will go first.
Okay. Perdita, as you step out and go and walk down the couple of steps for this carriage, you see that you're quite high off the ground. This is a well-made contraption. Obviously, money and power goes along with this. So your foot slides down, and you hear the creak of the wood that's underneath as it comes down, and you look up and see Skurlock, who is impossibly tall, probably almost 7 foot tall, thin, aristocrat looking. Looks like his clothes were from a couple decades ago, but they're still pristine. He has an air of someone who is barely giving you the time, as if there are 200 more important things. And yet, when he looks at you, it is with all sincerity. And he says, "I'm sorry for this, for what it's worth." And his gaze looks over into the courtyard that is in Six Towers. 2 of the buildings have been torn down, and a large platform has been erected. And on that platform are hangman nooses, many hangman nooses. They all have been well used in the past. And he says, "It's been a month, 1 month since I took you all in, and here's where we stand." And as you each come down out of the cart, it takes your breath away, almost the size and scale of these things, just because of how many there are. Again, hanging people. This is not a thing that happens in Dustfall, or has not before. He says, 1 month is how long it's taken me to bring you back. And 1 month, it's how it's taken the city to turn into, well, what it is. And as you look around too, Dustfall is a large city. There's thousands, hundreds of thousands of people in Dustfall. I mean, there are city blocks, people running around everywhere. You don't see anyone, not a soul in the street. He says, "We're at the blind hour. We're actually out past curfew, the curfew that was enabled by the new governor. This is what happens to people, well, former factions, the underground was all paraded up here one after another. This is what happens in New Duskwall." He said, "You're free to go. You're free. I will not hold you against your will. Or I can fund you. You will not trade one tyrant for another. I will not tell you what to do. I will not ask you to do anything other than what your heart tells you to do. And I think I know what that will be. But you can't go after the head of this. You can't go after Strangleford yet. You will have to tear him down bit by bit and build up the cities again. The wards are against you. You see," and he kind of walks over, "each one of your faces has been scrawled into one of these pillars holding up. And there are like stab marks and stuff thrown at it, all kinds of stuff, just the most horrific thing possible, as if you're public enemy number 1. And he said, they needed someone to blame all this on. And guess who got that blame? It was you. There was a very public hanging, of course, full of glamored miscreants that they hung in your stead. They called it you. But there's still talk that you're out there. And there's still talk that they believe they're still looking for you. So Marcus knows that he did not kill you that day. So he will look for you until he and his people are destroyed. I'm giving you a chance. I'm giving you a chance to make up for this in whatever way you choose. Or you can leave and never come back to Duskfall. What would you like to do?
Before I answer, I need clarification on something you said.
Of course.
Is everyone that we know from our previous lives dead?
No. You know what I am. And he looks directly at Nell. You know that we feed differently. None of that blood. Whoever came up with that. You see, we each feed on energy in a different way. And I'm going to tell you something very, very secret. I feed on memories. So in part of your healing, I had to take some memories. But I will return them. I will return to you so you know what happened if you choose to stay and fight. If not, it's like you just woke up one day. I'll give you coin, you can go away. Or you can remember what was lost, remember what you almost had and what happened to you, and seek vengeance.
Considering you have something of mine, I plan to get that back first.
And you shall have it.
But what part of scratching your back needs to be done before that happens?
There is none. I want nothing.
All right, then give it to me right now.
Go into the cart. Okay. He steps behind you and is going to make his way back into the cart. Are you all coming or are you staying here?
Nell just runs back into the cart.
I can see Nell being absolutely hanging on every word. I can physically see them.
No doubt.
Yes.
I think Avanti is just going to light a cigarette and just stare at this gallows for a minute.
Ida will kind of walk up behind him, knowing that they're in the cart, ready to go. And just kind of nudge his shoulder a little bit and say, we may only be able to trust each other moving forward. So I need you to let whatever you're hanging on to go, because it may just be you and me if Teddy abandons ship and Nell becomes an acolyte in the vampire.
I feel like I'm just watching a dream I can't wake up from. But whatever happens, happens.
What do the young kids say these days? YOLO? Unless you meet a vampire, I guess.
Not sure what that means.
It's okay. So, Dina will get into the carriage.
And I'll follow behind her. Look, if I die, you're still not getting my body.
Yeah, you've made that really clear. So you're not going to be on any of my family tables. It's fine. I won't honor your bones. It's fine.
They are my bones. I want to keep them.
But they're not yours if you're dead. You have no use for them when you're dead. It's just like money.
That's all I have is my bones. When this is
Not
all
if you're
gone, all I
dead.
have left is my bones.
Not if you're dead.
Why
You're
are
not
you
gonna
so
have-
anxious about staking my bones? I don't understand this.
It's not that the fact that you don't want me to take your bones is what's drawing this conversation out. You could just let me have your bones when you die, like everyone else does, and I could honor them and make sure that they're properly cared for. Or you can just let the rats eat them. Like, I don't, like, it's really either or.
We have to write up some sort of contract because this is not going to be freely given, just so you know.
What do you want for your bones?
And when the time is right, I will tell you.
Fine.
But we need proper lawyers and courts and to drop all this paperwork first.
I know a good barrister or two. I think my brother's one. It's fine. We'll make it work. It's just, whatever is going to make you comfortable with this arrangement. Hell, at the end of this, you may be the one that's responsible for carrying my dead ass out of somewhere. So.
And when that time comes, I will not take your bones.
Okay. It's a good arrangement.
But in all seriousness, and he'll draw a little closer and whisper as if it's going to make a difference. I am quite worried about our two companions. One for his rashness and one for her overzealousness.
I agree. We need to be careful. But I think they're young.
I suppose angels banished from heaven have no choice but to become devils, huh?
Was the name of my band in high school. Charter Hall, first female punk.
I bet it was really fucking boring too. I mean, what do you play? You play the cymbals or the xylophone? Well, I can't imagine it was a very good group. No, again, no offense.
After we sign off about your bones, I'll tell you about my stint in my female punk band in Charter Hall. But until that time, you're just gonna have to save that one for.
Avanti will adjust his big popped out collar even more and sort of motion over towards the cart.
So inside, Skurlock has taken his seat up against one side of the cart, basically inside the cart. And as you come in, he kind of closes the door behind him. He hits twice, and the cart begins moving. You do know that it's going south from Six Towers down that way somewhere. He begins and says, "Since I will have to give this back to you, these memories back to you, they are keeping and holding me, but I understand what you need them for." Actually, I gotta hold on because his voice is much slower. I understand that you need these in order to fully get the picture that you're in. And so he takes this, I want to say he takes like a hookah and starts puffing on the pipe and blowing smoke into the air. And so it gets really, really smoky inside this thing. And as he does, he says, "Do not be feared. This is what needs to happen. And after this, if you choose to leave, I will let you leave. Again, no strings anymore." And he looks directly at you, Teddy. No strings. Close your eyes. I would say relax, but we all know that that can't be done anymore. Let your mind drift back to the last thing you remember. Does anyone want to do anything beforehand? No? Good.
Internally scream.
Oh, well.
I'll just say to everybody, look, I'm not going to do anything rash without letting you know beforehand.
I mean, as long as it doesn't get us killed, I'm okay with it.
To be fair, we've done many things that should have probably gotten us killed together already.
Smoke grows closer to you as you inhale it, and as you breathe it in, your mind starts to drift and relax a little bit. Your eyes slowly close, and you're taken back. And it's almost like a flash of what we've done so far here in the campaign. Your first memories are going to the warehouse that was targeted by Marcus Strangford, meeting Marcus Strangford, being led there by Iramina the noble, she introduced each one of you to him, and he said that you're going to be a top crew. Wanted to make sure that you all would work well together. The memories fade back and show you the warehouse where you met Jonathan, Perdita's brother, the spirit warden, where you found the large box that ended up being the demon Demodred, and where you took that box back to Marcus Strangleford. It then leads to your conversations with Marcus as he fears that his spirit warden, his insider, has been captured. The spirit wardens put him out, and the memories come back again of the same kind of cart. Taking the cart from Dunslow prison, from Ironhook prison, and smuggling Jonathan out of the city onto a Leviathan hunter boat. The smoke then comes back up together and shows you back in Dunslow as you release 4 prisoners, 1 for each one of you. And then finally the smoke clears once again to show you all in the city council chambers as you release the demon Demodred, the demon of the wind, who absolutely mercilessly killed the entire city council and brought down the building around it. Last seen walking off with a snake around his shoulder, whistling a jaunty little tune. And I think definitely, Avanti, you get chills going up and down your spine just at the sight, again, in the memory of Demodred, as you have a connection to him as you tried to enter the box where he was trapped. The next memories are happy ones for a brief amount of time. Everything looked like it was going to go great. You came back to Marcus Strangleford. He was elated. There was a party. There was drinking and whatever kind of vice you wanted to have for days on end. This is how it went. Marcus grew a little more faint, or a little more distant, as he was, quote unquote, taking care of business in some other parts of town. And then each one of you, on a night about a week later, this is where your memories no longer converge. This is where they individually come out. Who would like to go first? Actually, Nell. Let's go Nell first. So Nell, you allay the parties. Those are not your thing. When you tried to meet with people, you probably kind of went, no, you probably try to get back to normal as quickly as possible. Tell me if I'm wrong there.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
Going to the spirit wells, visiting with the spirits that Marcus put up in your name all around the city. And you're probably checking on those quite regularly. Yes.
Yes.
Okay.
Sure
is there anything specifically that you're doing?
Just make sure that they remain as they are. No one is succumbing. Mm-hmm. They're all still here.
Okay. Yeah, you get, let's say that a few days pass, and again, this is a flashback. This is all in memories. So a few days pass after when you all killed the city council, or after the demon killed the city council, after you released the demon that killed the city council. Let's make sure we're being particular there. Mm-hmm. You get a note from Roger Radova, the prisoner that you let out. He uses he, him pronouns, and in game we called him that he was a part of a faction called the Rivermen. I'm actually changing that because I don't want to use gendered titles, if that's okay. I would like to call him the Tide, if that's okay with you.
Yes.
So he was introduced that he was a member of the leader of the Tide, who were trying to take over the Gondoliers. And he writes a note, says he'd like to meet you at the Spirit Well, that he has some things that he would like to do to help improve them. You know that the Gondoliers do a lot of work with spirits because they're out in the water itself, around where the spirits are a lot. So you assume that that's probably what he would like to do as well.
Okay. And I think before she goes, what we've done here has opened up new resources. She speaks to all her gathered bottled spirits in her. All this will make the work go by so much faster, and we'll be done. And you won't have to stay in this state for much longer.
So you made it a spirit well, probably a little bit off the beaten path, maybe in Char Hollow, down one of the down and out neighborhoods. Spirit well, where you've seen a lot of activity and have cultivated that, where the spirits are able to basically spirits in Duskwall try to hold on to their sanity, and they can hold on to their sanity by feeding at spirit wells or by feeding from people. If they don't, they start to starve, then they go more demonic and more animalistic, and lose all sense of humanity. So you'll meet some spirits that are very just like they were in real life, and others that have succumbed to their fear and anger and whatever, into turning into mindless, basically eating machines that like to eat people's spirits and people's souls. Yeah. So Roger, you're there first, I think, checking on the spirits, and there's a good number of spirits that come in. They're able to eat, feed from the electroplasm that you've kind of installed basically at these spirit wells. And he pulls up in this little cart. The bells are ringing. He pulls up in this cart and kind of creates a stop. And again, Roger's a small, short, middle-aged man, constantly a little paranoid. We painted him as paranoid. Mm-hmm. It has probably layers of clothes on that don't match, as if he just threw on whatever he had at the time. Balding with a comb over. And he when we saw him last in prison, he was very paranoid and scared of everything. He looks not as much here, and he waves to you and just says, no.
Yes.
Hello?
Yes. Good to see you again.
Nice to see you as well. Yes. Thank you for being able to come in and help me with my newest experiment. I appreciate it.
Yes.
So these spirit wells that you've set up, these are wondrous things that will attract all kinds of spirits. Yes.
Yes. It's most importantly keeps them, from fading away or going mad.
Right. We would not want that at all.
No.
And I think as he's talking to you, he is going around the cart and untying straps that he has strapped over this tarp in the back of the cart. And he's kind of messing with those. He goes to the next one. He says, yes, we can't have that. And he kind of wraps the top of the tarp over this machine that's in the back of this cart. It looks like a Tesla coil, basically. He says, I was working on this before I got caught up in prison and wasn't able to work on it, but now I can work on it. It works. I've worked on it, smaller things, but and it works. It works.
What is it?
Well, let me just show you. And he gets up in the cart and starts twisting knobs and doing things. And immediately when this thing fires up, you're close to it, you get an eerie sense about it that this is not good. This is not good at all. And as he fires up and the electroplasm starts whirling through and on the coils, you can see arcs of electroplasm as they start to spasm, and it starts to create this whirl. As it does, and it gets faster and faster and faster, the spirits that are at the well slowly start to come out of the well and from around the buildings and start to come to it.
Wait, what is it doing? What's it doing?
He slams his hand on a big button. It's collecting the spirits, of course. We need them. You see, you've given us the perfect way to collect all the spirits in the city.
And then what? Then what?
Well, then who knows what happens? I mean, this is just the first of what we can do with this.
And what do you intend on doing? Selling them to the spirit traffickers?
No, nothing so base as that. There's all kinds of experiments we can do with spirits. There's all kinds of experiments.
Hey, listen, she'll get really close and put like her hand on his face.
Mm-hmm.
They exist. They're like you. I like them better than I like you and everyone that lives here. They are not objects for you to prod. What I am doing here is for their benefit. our benefit.
Well, it was. And he turns and pulls out a gun and fires point blank into Nell's chest.
Ooh.
And I think you can. What are you thinking of yourself, or are you thinking of the spirits that are slowly starting to come in? You could see them starting to whirl around this thing. I'll give you this.
Mm-hmm.
What are you thinking about in this moment as you feel the lead go into your chest, as you feel your organs basically start to kind of shut down?
Thinking about us. There is no we. There is no them and me. There is us.
And I think as things start to go black, I think the spirits inside of you scream with that rage and anger, as you know what it is. And you see the spirits slowly start to break apart, even as your vision fades. You know that you have probably saved some, but not anywhere near what it's going to take to defeat this thing as it comes in. But your vision starts to fade, and he looks down at you and goes, Marcus said I needed to do that. I didn't want to. You see, I wanted the spirits inside you as well. But he says I can't have them yet. And that's where it goes black. All right. Who's next?
I'll go next. I'm good.
Okay, Avanti.
Let's do it.
So Avanti, things are looking up. I mean, you know, Marcus, you are plied with drinks, you're plied with food, you're plied with things that make you happy. People are giving you things around. You know, you have a new coat, a new this, a new that. That all seems to come together, and it looks like everything is going to go great. You get word from Victor that he would like to talk to you.
I don't like that at all.
What do you mean? What do you
Why?
mean?
He's a fucking psychopath, that's why.
So Victor sends you a note. He says, basically, it says, would like to put an end to our past.
Yeah, I bet he would.
Please meet me at this location.
Damn.
Amazing.
Yeah, okay. That's not happening. I mean, if I had a choice what I was going to do, I'd probably want to go see Anton more than Victor, you know?
I mean, you could see Anton too. That's not a problem.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably been a while. I'm sure he's dug up something by now.
Yeah, problem. So you go see Anton before you go see Victor?
Yeah, let's do that.
Okay. So Anton is your information source. Who is it Noodles that he sells out?
He's a ramen dealer. Yeah,
ramen dealer. They're in night
dealer.
Yeah, ramen dealer.
As you do.
In Night Market, in one of the nightstands, a little cart he pulls up, and as usual, as you walk up, there's a couple other customers, but he takes a bowl as he sees you and slowly puts some noodles in there, puts everything together, and slides it down to the other end, and with a little drink, and lets you sit, and doesn't say a word to you for a while as you are eating and partaking. And then I think as the other customers leave, he kind of leaves their bowls there so no one else can sit there. And he says, you had me look at something, correct? Yes. We have information to discuss.
That was the arrangement, I believe, yes.
And what was it that you required of me? You see, I have lots of arrangements. I apologize. I'm an old man, and I forget such things.
Come on, Anton. We've been doing this for so long. I don't know why we keep playing this game. Every time I come here, you keep asking me what I'm looking for, as if you don't know.
It's a fun game, though, isn't it?
See, it's pretty fucking boring at this point, I'll be honest with you.
Oh, for someone that's doing so good, you would think that you'd be in a good mood.
I come here, I spend my money, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to some other, backwater ramen dealer.
No, I hear that you're getting only the best from him. Correct? You're under someone else's employ. You're eating his food, sitting at his table, wearing his clothes.
I'm not sure I'm following what you're trying to say to me exactly.
Be careful who you ally yourself with.
Trust me, after what just happened, I'm very, very much aware of that.
If I remember correctly, you asked me to look into your friends, and I've done so. Or your work associates, I believe.
Friends is a very, very loose term.
Yes. I understand. Friends among no friends among thieves. I get that.
It's like having a pet, you know. If you name it, then you have to have feelings towards it, and you know, something
no one
happens
wants
to
that.
it.
Yes.
Exactly.
When they soil the floor, you want to be able to kick them out. I understand.
Exactly. Well, it's kind of fucked up to say it that way, I suppose. But
well, just be careful that you're not seen as the pet.
You just gave me some sort of spiritual awakening moment there.
Your co-workers are like yourself, looking for something. They don't come back. They all have their bonds and their weaknesses and their strengths, which you know some. Ulterior motives, I'm unsure that they have them at this point, but they have no one else to back them, like you had no one else to back you. I believe it seems like that's why they were chosen.
It sounds to me like we all had no one who gave a fuck about this, so I guess that would be a good reason to put this together.
Maybe it was. But what do I know? I'm just an old man.
I hope you know many things, because that's what I paid for.
Yes. What else would you like to know?
What else do you have? I paid you. You know, I pay you. You give me information.
You pay me for information. You ask me questions. I answer them.
Why are you always so difficult, Anton? I don't understand this.
Because that's what friends are, difficult.
You use this word "friends" again. I don't know why you keep using this word.
Are we not friends?
I don't know what
Devante?
we are anymore, Anton.
No, we aren't friends.
Okay, yes, we're friends. Okay, it's just you're very, very painful sometimes.
That's what friends are, painful. If friendship was good all the time, there would be no need for friends.
Do I have to pay for this emotional support as well, or is that just a part of the
No, that's
bargain?
what friends do for free.
I see. I want to know where they came from. That's what I want to know. Because everybody has a story.
Yes. Perdita came from... Who knows if she was grown in a lab or what, to be honest with you.
That makes so much fucking sense.
I think he kind of laughs. He's like, no, not for real.
Oh.
She just spends enough time in the lab that it's said that she could be grown there. Her background is fuzzy. There seemed to be someone who took her in a long time ago when her parents were displaced, has other siblings. Tracking them down is not an easy task. It could be done, but it's not an easy task. But Perdita is looking after herself first, her family second, everyone else third. Am I wrong there?
You aren't right on it. Yes.
Nell is along the same lines, a product of the streets of Duskfall. Someone who sees in the spirits what they want to see in people. Someone who knows the deepest, darkest underground within Duskfall. Tossed away at a time when she should not have been. They should not have been, excuse me. Tossed away when they should not have been. They were a part of an orphanage that closed a couple of decades back.
Okay.
And the last one.
Yeah, the one. It looks like, you know, child, but it does not act like child.
Is not a child. Is not a child at all.
Something very strange about him. His affinity for these creatures around him.
I think sometimes we assign, how should I say this? We see the worst in people in order to fill in the holes, when it could be just nothing.
That was pretty shitty what information you gave me. I mean, I paid you. I figured at least get something in return, not just, it's probably not what it seems. I mean, could have got that out back of a fortune cookie or something,
You could have got a fortune cookie. Would you like one? And I think he looks down and grabs a cookie that he has. Here we go. This is on the house.
Snatches it up.
Not everyone's a miracle worker. Sometimes information just isn't there. And sometimes you have to experience things for yourself.
I suppose one last thing. Have you heard from Dragomir by any chance? Has he been by?
No, but there's word of a Scarlet Crew rising again.
Shit. Here?
Yes.
Anton, my friend, I'm afraid that our meetings might be a little bit more sporadic in the near future.
I'll look for you.
How much would it cost to keep your silence?
That's already done.
Sort of try to gauge him for a moment.
Yeah. You see that the smile, the little smirk that he has as if he's joking back and forth with you, it's gone. It's gone. He's gone pretty stone face, as if even mentioning that he might talk to someone else is impugning his honor. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. Something like that. That no, he takes this very seriously. And he meant what he said is no, it's already in there.
Avanti is going to push the bowl away from him. He's going to take one swig from his flask, and he's going to take something from his coat pocket and set it there in front of him. A single bone die.
Mm-hmm.
Every side of it has a 6 on it.
Okay. Anton will look at it, will scoop up the bowl and go to put it away. And he says, when next we meet. And you look like that. There looks like there is sadness in his eyes as he says that.
Can you keep a hold of this for me? I have a meeting and I'm not 100% sure I'm going to come back from it, but such as things.
He scoops it up and puts it in his top pocket.
And if you see Dragomir, can you give it to him and let him know how sorry I am?
I will. Hope your meeting goes well.
Yeah, me too.
He turns and starts cleaning up.
But he'll get up and light a smoke and start walking.
So in Coleridge proper, as you go across the bridge from Night Market into Coleridge, there's some shops set up, and Victor's asked you to meet in a bar. It's a public bar, but it is pretty late at night. From outside, you see a couple of goons basically watching the front door, and they have on regular attire. It looks like it's old. They've been wearing that blood splattered a little bit on the front of their shirts and stuff. Like it's been a while. They've been sitting there for a while. Very much alive, and they kind of grunt when they see you, and one cocks his head toward the inside. The inside is not lit with electroplasm. It's lit with actual lamps, like oil lamps. So it's pretty dark inside there. But you definitely hear music and see people and drinking, and you hear people yelling for more to drink and more ale, more beer, whatever like that. So it seems pretty lively inside there.
Can I scope it out first? Because
Yeah.
Because I'm curious to see if I see anybody that I might recognize from the old crew there.
Yeah, you don't see anyone from here. You could kind of look through the windows. You don't see anyone from. You see Victor at the bar, but that's the only person you recognize.
Okay. Fuck it. Let's just walk right up to the bar then.
Yeah.
And take a seat.
Yeah, Victor looks at you and goes, again, Victor is a large boulder of a man, 6.5 foot tall, to something, upper 200s, lots of muscle, and is probably in his late 30s. He has a shaved head and has a few scars. Knuckles look like he's been in more fights than you can count. He has an air of restrained violence. It's the best way to put it. If you ever met someone like, he has an air of restrained violence. And he looks over at you as you walk in and kind of this gruff voice says, hell, I didn't think you had it in you to come in here.
I'll just sit down at the bar with a flourish of the jacket, trying to look all cool.
Yeah.
Take a seat and turn towards him.
He looks at the barkeep and asks for a bottle and 2 glasses.
Well, should I be afraid of Victor? We are old friends, right?
I wouldn't call us friends.
You hurt me. You hurt me, Victor.
Scars. Yeah. Do friends give each other scars?
All the time.
What kind of friends do you have? He takes the bottle and unplugs it and pours 2 drinks. Pours one your way.
Well, I'm not really quite sure how to answer that question right now. Tonight it's been weird about talking about friends with people. I don't understand why it keeps happening. But the root of the question is why? Why?
He takes the drink and downs it, pours the bottle again. And it looks like he tops off yours a little bit, even if you haven't drank it, as if to say, hey, it's fine. He just says, well, now that I've been working for Strangleford, things are looking up. I'm going to remake the Scarlet Crew.
Why would you want to do that, Victor? That's what got you in prison in the first place.
Well, not now. Now we have his power. This is going to be different.
For Strangleford's power? Come on, Victor.
He's got big things in the work. Big things.
I know you have a hard head, but I know you're smarter than that.
There's nothing else to do. He's got it. We're going places. Listen. When I got out of prison, I told you I wanted to make it even between you. With all this, that's not going to happen. I want to let you know that. Between you and I, that's not going to happen.
So I suppose this will be the last cordial meeting between you and I, then?
No, nothing like that. I won't come looking for you. I won't come. You don't have to worry about me hunting you down. That's not how this is going to work. If you don't want to join the Scarlet Crew, it's perfectly acceptable. I just wanted to give you the offering. For old time's sake. For an old friend.
If who I think is going to be there, you should know that that's not going to be an option.
What, Dragomir?
Yes.
No, he's not going to be here. This is on me.
You have taken up the reins on all this, huh? That's quite impressive.
Well, you got to come up in the world.
That you do.
Do you want to come up with us, or do you want to be left behind?
At one point I'd come up with the whole group. It landed me in prison and then back in the streets, and I think I'd like to make my own path this time.
It's acceptable.
Well, I was surprised. To be honest, I thought I might be leaving with my head tucked under my arm, but This is much more cordial than I expected.
He kind of takes a big, heavy sigh. He kind of says, I wish it could have been. I really do. But he told me I can't kill you, so I won't. He gets up from the bar. He takes the bottle. He pours himself one last drink and downs it. He does the big sigh and he says, you see, we've done some changes in the Scarlet Crew. Now actual blood is involved in order to get you in. And since you don't want to be in, well, you'll have to be the blood. And he steps back from the bar and steps away from you, which is odd because you're expecting this dude to come out and waylay you. And that's when the other guys come up behind you. We won't have to go into detail, but what is going through Avanti's mind as the blood starts to flow, as the punches and the kicks and the slices start to happen?
With Avanti probably feeling like this is the end to all things. This is where the road ends. He's probably going to think back to Dragomir. And how much he's going to miss the chance of being with him again.
Yeah. Before you black out, the stale, nasty breath of Victor breathes into your face, and he says, Strangleford told me I can't kill you. That's the only reason why you're not slit open, bleeding for days. I guess it is done between us, but only because I can't do it by myself. And he raises his head back and headbutts you. And oblivion is all you find at that point. Okay. Teddy, ready?
Yeah.
So Teddy probably did some of the limelight things, some of the partying, some of that little stuff, but not much. It's not really your
Very
scene.
minuscule. Yeah.
Right.
Super
exactly.
introverted.
Yeah.
Very low social battery.
Just enough to be like, hey, I'm here. I've been seeing. Do you see me? Okay, now I'm out. And in one of the last few weeks,
Gotta take the dog for a walk. Blah, blah,
yeah,
blah.
absolutely. Oh yeah, I got the dog. Gotta go. And in one of the last few weeks, you had set up a sniper tower that allowed you to do shots all over the city, different ranges and things and different stuff. It's something you definitely set up. You find yourself up there one night, probably practicing, shot here, shot there. What is it going to be as you kind of focus in your mind? And you hear a sound behind you. I think your dog kind of makes not a growling, but just like a someone's here kind of thing at you.
Even as I'm looking down the sight,
Mm-hmm.
I just reach into because it's probably cold, so I'm wearing a long, flowing black jacket, and I just point the gun like this. State your business.
The voice of Genevieve rings out. She says, whoa, that's come up here to get some practice in, and I get a gun drawn on me. Whoa.
Yeah, of course. You didn't even say
Ollie
or
saw
send
me.
word.
I don't need where Ollie saw me. It's fine.
Didn't you hear him growl? He did his job.
He likes me. He didn't growl. He didn't growl at me. He likes me. I think, kinda. Does he like me?
I think the jury's out. But our last conversation wasn't so positive. So maybe he doesn't.
I think she has a glass, like a bottle and a glass, and she takes a drink. Looks like she'd been drinking a little bit or smells a little bit of alcohol. She goes, "It's a party. We've had this thing going on for a while." I mean, it's a party. You know, we won. We're winning. I guess Strangleford's coming up in power. I guess we're all gonna ride his coattails to whenever it's done. I don't know.
It's not really my thing, but I'm glad you're enjoying it and enjoying your freedom.
Friends were never your thing, were they?
No, because what happens when you have to kill him?
Coin says I can outshoot you. She's standing by the rifle, looking down at whatever you're scoping in on.
I kicked your ass all up and down the military. You really think that you're any good, considering you've been rotting in a cell?
Things have changed. I've taken lessons. Yeah, lessons? Yeah, lessons. I've taken lessons. A coin. And she pulls out a coin, or what's equal to a coin, and kind of puts it in a little bag on the thing there.
Well, as my mother tried and failed to teach me, ladies first.
All right. She takes your rifle and like sights down the barrel, and she kind of winks back and sight's dirty, and takes a little rag out of her pocket and wipes around the sight. And she's like, "What did you start slipping that your sight is dirty?"
My sight's not dirty. What are you talking about? I
She
cleaned the hell
looks-
out of this gun.
She looks down it and fires. I think she hits, but probably off to one side, whatever it is. And she kind of puts the gun, she kind of looks like, yeah, something on this, and takes a rag out and wipes the end of the sight.
Well, hold on.
The eye cup.
First of all, you totally should ask permission before you do that.
I'm sorry, but I didn't want you to give me a bad gun. You know, like I thought maybe you have this like
Are
advantage.
you serious?
Well, it's your gun. It's your gun. You got an advantage. Listen, are you going to make the shot? Can you hit that? Can you hit that? You can't hit that. You can't hit that.
I'm insulted. Move.
You can't even hit that. I think she doesn't really move. She wants to stay very, very close to you. As you make it, she's
I
like,
think
Teddy,
he would not
are
be
you
okay
gonna-
with that. He would absolutely like. You need to.
Okay, she steps back I think she steps back and then kind of leans forward just out of your periphery. It's like, are you going to make the shot? Can you make it under pressure? What's going on? Are you going to do it? Like
I might just put a pistol underneath your chin.
anger at a friend. Look at this.
I'm not angry. I'm just being honest. There's a difference.
But it's honest anger, right?
I
You can be
don't
honest and
recall-
angry.
I don't recall a single time that I've ever been angry with you.
Can you be honest and angry?
Yeah, absolutely.
So
Yeah.
you can be angry with someone and still be honest with them. Is that what you're telling me?
Of course. Sometimes anger isn't that like how that works sometimes? Sometimes anger you can just it kind of cuts through the bullshit.
But you're still angry with that person. So you can be honest with them but be angry at them, right? Like, are you getting angry at me right now?
No, are you angry with me?
What? You're trying to throw it off. Just make the shot. Make the shot. Can you make it? I don't think you. I think all this is just bullshit. The whole great
looks at the
Teddy is
rifle.
wonderful, and she's just talking.
Yeah. What is this?
Take the shot, Teddy.
He like steps back and points it at her. What is this?
What is what?
You went from telling me that I fucked something up to being all friendly.
We have
And
to
he
work
draws the second
together.
one. What the fuck is this?
We have to work together, Teddy. That's why. There's nothing personal. Strictly business. We're on the same side. We can be honest with each other and still be angry. You can be angry right now, but we can still be honest with each other.
He'll holster him.
Scared to take the shot.
I didn't get you out because I had a guilty conscience. I got you out because it was right.
She
And then he'll
looks
take
at
the
you.
shot.
She looks at you, and as you take the shot, You take it, you hit dead center. It's not a question. Not even a question. As you do, and the scope recoils back, you feel something. It's like your eye starts stinging just a little bit. And she goes, "Did you say you got me out because it was right?" And your vision in that eye starts to go blurry just a little bit. Right? No, Teddy. No, Teddy. You got me out because you were paid to get me out. And Teddy, I think right now, the vision, the pain, blurriness goes from one eye to both eyes.
That's not true. That's not true. And he'll just blindly start firing.
Yeah, you hear her like fall back.
Yeah.
But she says, no, Teddy. Just like always, you did what you were told. Didn't you? Let's be honest with each other, Teddy. Did you come to get me out because it was right? Or did you come to get me out because you were paid to? Did you even know I was in there?
What did you do to my eyes? What did you do to my eyes?
Settle down. I don't want you pitching off this roof.
I can aim lower.
You can, and you hear her voice now from different places. It's like this poison is messing with your senses, your sense of balance even. I think you kind of push back up against the wall a little bit as if to get something on your back to be solid. And even that, I
imagine Ollie's barking.
Ollie's barking and going and spinning in circles and just getting angry. And she says, you just stood there. You stood there while they court-martialed me. You stood there while they kicked me out of the army. And then you didn't even know I was in prison. And you lie and say you wanted to get me out because it was right.
That's not true.
What's not true? I thought we were being honest.
I'm not the one sitting here fucked up right now.
No, you are. But don't worry, Teddy. I'm not going to do anything to you. I'm just going to stand here and watch. After I got out of the army, I had nowhere else to go. They blacklisted me. Ended up from prison to prison. Never felt like I had with a group anymore. Strangleford's going to give me a group, Teddy. Ex-army, all of us. I'm going to handpick them. And we're going to run these streets. I can't trust you. You're always only in it for yourself. Do you even know what a friend is? Have you used that word before? And meant it?
No, but at least I'm honest about it.
Oh, you're honest, all right. I think this is when things start to go really dim.
Yeah.
And she says, I think you hear, you feel your back press up against the wall and slide down that wall. And in this moment, you have one last thing to do. What do you do?
You better kill me right now. Because I will destroy everything.
You hear her say, no, I'm just going to watch. And that's the last you hear. All right. Perdita, Dr. Glimmerdusk. My favorite. So, Doctor, you get invited to the parties, you get invited to the shindigs, you get invited to the things. Do they mean anything to you, really?
No.
Not one freaking bit. Where do we find you in the days afterwards? Back in the lab? Yep, back in the lab, working on different things. You probably I tell you what, during the mission, you called upon the power of forgotten gods, did you not? And part of that was maybe knowledge granted you from the demon and how the demon Demodred could be linked to those forgotten gods and what could house. And I think you're deep in research mode for that. Deep in research mode for that. You have been locked in your study for days now, days and days. Where is Lavender, the assistant? What have you done with her? Like last we saw her, your assistant named Lavender, you had sent her away, right?
Yes, Lavender, the assistant, I had told her to take a vacation.
Yep. Okay. And where is Lavender, the young
Lavender?
Young Lavender.
Young Lavender is probably in the lab.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So at some point in time, late into the night, there's a knock on your door at Charter Hall as you're poring over some kind of scrolls or something. I think you kind of make the connection that the box housing the demon could be used to house the essence of a god if you so desired and had enough power, blah, blah, blah. There's what this box could be used for, because that's kind of the focus item for you is how did they house a demon in this box? How did it stay? Could it be used for things like that? There's a knock at the door.
Perdita probably would pull Lavender into her like private office and keep her in there and then answer the door.
Okay. It is Lavender, your assistant, and she comes striding in. She has a bunch of papers in her hand, a bunch of like manila envelope papers in her hand, and she says, I wanted to talk to you before I quit. And she kind of walks in around you, almost into your office, which is not something she should be doing, but yet she does, as if it's anyone who's ever quit a job and said, fuck this place. You're like, I can do what I want. I'm quitting anyway. So she kind of walks in and around you and is like, I'm leaving your service.
Okay.
Something you expected, correct?
I mean, to be honest, your grades have really fallen, and I didn't anticipate that you were going to stay in Charter Hall anyway. So, in general, yeah.
Yeah, my mind has been on other things, so I apologize. I was doing some research on my own.
Okay.
And she puts down.
Leave. Like, we don't have to have a conversation.
No, we do. I think you owe me that. She puts down the stack of papers on your desk.
I'm sorry, yes. Hold on. You think I owe you something? I paid for you to be at this school. I brought you in. I made sure that you had lab time. I made sure that you had all of the resources that were available to you. You think I owe you something? She looks down at the documents in the manila envelopes and kind of pushes them to the side as if to fan them out. And kind of steps back and kind of looks at him as if, hey, come look at these. You owe me. Why do I owe you?
She looks down at the papers and says, well, I guess at some point in time, I was not going to be useful to you anymore.
But all lab assistants move on. You graduate, you find a new job, you do something else.
As you say that, she opens up the first one, and it is a depiction of a younger woman. It was like an autopsy report. She flips open the first one and says poisoned. Flips open the next one, and it's around the same type age group, a young girl, and says the autopsy report says stabbed multiple times, and it's drawn out, and the punctures are shown on the sheet. The next one. She says, Lavender, huh? Seems like a common name for you. You use that a lot, right? She moves around and kind of sits in your chair, which is no. But she does it. She said, I always wanted to feel like to sit in this chair. Fuck, it doesn't feel like anything.
No, it doesn't.
thought you'd be different. I don't guess I'm any different from these. And she kind of motions her hand down at the manila envelopes.
Actually, to be honest with you, you're far more of a disappointment than they were. But that's just a technicality. You weren't here to be brilliant. If you had been brilliant, it would have been a completely different outcome for you. The people that you have put on this table all lacked in something vital. That's not my fault. They were insufficient.
Insufficient. Is that how you see everyone? Everyone but your precious Lavender?
No.
No? There are others that are sufficient?
Of course.
But are they in your life? I mean, really? I heard the stories. You have no one. No one but that little girl. And now that you have her, you don't need me.
That's completely not true at all. But okay. I mean, if you want to say that and that's the narrative you need to buy into to justify whatever you're about to do to yourself, that's totally fine. You don't need my validation. But I definitely need someone who is older and more intellectually developed than Lavender to continue as my lab assistant. So just because Lavender is here, that doesn't mean that I don't need a lab assistant. Why do you think I asked your name? Why do you think I tried to connect with you as an individual, gave you that time off to go pursue your own interests? Like, I tried to see you for who you are as a person.
What did you just say to me? Whatever makes this better for you? Whatever story you have to come up with in your head to make this okay for you? Anyway, before you could kill me and chop me up to pieces or make me one of your little, I don't know, playthings, I quit.
Do you need a recommendation?
She stands up and walks around the desk and says, no. She shakes it. She takes out her hand and says, let's just shake and be on our way.
I would like to decline that opportunity, but I tell you what is your interest here? What do you want to do?
My interest, what do you mean?
For who you are as a person, what do you want?
I want to create.
So being assigned to me was never even in your wheelhouse. You should have been assigned to a different.
Correct.
Okay.
But they thought that maybe with all your other ones going missing, that I could prove some kind of information or be there to help you through whatever you're dealing with. But that's clearly not the case.
Again, you want to create?
Mm-hmm.
What do you want to create?
The demons are coming out. That's a little freaky even for me.
Oh, I know. Who is that?
It's so good. I love it. I love it so much.
I'm not stopping. Let's go.
She steps around you and like opens up the door all the way, knowing that it kind of messes with your head to have your door open all the way. And she steps out and just says, I want to create, not destroy. I'm not like you. Goodbye, Dr. Glimmerdust. And she takes a step out into the hallway.
Well, I don't begrudge you that you want to move on. So please, by all means, move on.
Okay. She steps out into the hallway as if she's going to leave. What do you do?
She'll stand there and wait. She's not going to move
Okay.
first.
You hear her footsteps fading down the hallway.
I would say that Perdita and Lavender probably have a signal for trouble, and she would reveal that at that time for Lavender.
Right. And so, what is Lavender to do? This is Lavender the younger. What is Lavender the younger to do?
Would probably take a tunnel and vacate the building.
Okay. So let's say there's probably something on the wall or something you touch and it rings alarm back in the room. Okay. Absolutely. And so what do you do after that?
She'll pull out her knife. Maybe more than one knife. Maybe like a band of knives across the knuckles, and just wait as she slowly approaches to the door.
Okay. Nothing happens. No one at the door. Door's wide open.
And she closed the door?
Yeah.
And she locked the door?
Mm-hmm.
Once the door's locked, she would go to the office to see if Lavender was still there.
Once the door is closed, your hand reaches the door, touches the smooth metal, closes the door, and flips the lock. And at the flip of the lock, there's a sound. And it's weird. It's almost like a little hiss, as if something is kind of shot out of like a reverse of the lock. And this little bit of powder sprays on your hand.
What is the immediate symptom?
It starts to go numb.
She's in a lab, so she's going to flush the surface of the skin.
As you do that, everywhere the water touches and flushes, it creeps up. It starts to explode and expand in that direction, as if it wants to eat whatever you're using, as if it wants to eat everything. It's almost like an activation. It's like yeast activating in sugar and water, just as it climbs it now your arm into your other hand.
She'd probably pull out some kind of like EpiPen and inject herself. She would start trying to immediately treat the symptom, injecting herself with various chemicals.
Absolutely. I see you kind of stumbling around the lab as you reach for something that would stop this, and nothing seems to. You try every antidote, a pinch of this mushroom, a pin, a any kind of concoction you can do to flush and symptoms, and it doesn't seem to work. And I think as it start that feeling, that numbness and blackness starts to just corrode at your body, and almost like feels like you're shutting down. You feel your heart just start beating just slower, and it almost seems like you're willing your lungs to breathe. You're willing your heart to keep pumping as you reach across everything and just push things off your desk. I think that's where you end up, is at your desk, as you push across those papers, and you see open after open are the Lavender lab assistants that were before this one, the ones that you killed, the ones that you had killed, the ones that you disposed of in some form or fashion, all come up in autopsies, one after another, as you push away. And I think the one at the end, as you open it back, as you're slowly starting to fade into consciousness, what are your thoughts?
I think her only concern would be getting to young Lavender. What's happening? Is she safe?
Yeah.
I don't think that the presence of the images of the dead lavenders would bother her.
No, it wouldn't. But what catches your eyes are not the images of the dead lavenders on all the other ones. The last one, no, that one catches your eye. It is a sketch of young Lavender, and it is different. Under her name is Lavender Strangleford, and that's when you black out.
Well done, Nate.
And so that is the memories that you find here in this cart as it ambles down the highway, as it ambles down the road. You come back into focus, and the clapping of the goat's hooves, the feel of the cobblestone, of those wooden wheels on the cobblestone, as it slowly starts to bring you back into focus. What brings you back out of these dreams is what's his name? Lord damn it.
The guy that we're with?
Sherlock?
Sherlock.
Skurlock.
Again, I got too far into it. Too deep.
Too deep.
Lord Skurlock's voice pulls you back out, and he says, I share these memories back with you. I took them from you so you could heal. I give them back so you can heal anew. In your wake, and after this happened to each of you, Marcus Strangleford made a deal with the governor and has taken over control of the city. Most, if not all, of the old factions of the underworld are gone or dispersed or too scared to come out. These others have put factions in their place, and the people suffer. And the people blame you for their suffering, for they have to blame someone. Do you see now why I spent all my time and effort to bring you back?
I think when that memory jolts, Nell, her head snaps back, and she just screams.
Yeah.
He took them. He took them.
Yes, and he will take more. He has started in Char Hollow, but his contraptions will be all over the city soon. The Spirit Wardens were disbanded. They wanted a more direct approach.
He made more of them.
He is making more.
I can't help but laugh because I'm so impressed. Don't get me wrong, I've never experienced regret before. It feels and it hurts a lot. But finally, it kind of leans back in the seat. I have something to strive for. I am going to fucking kill that bitch.
Skurlock, I think a sly smile creeps off his face, and he says, thank you. This is why I wanted to share that with you. You needed focus, and I believe you have it now.
That is an understatement.
And you? And he looks over at Ivanti.
My whole life has been about being disappointed, about being betrayed. What more is revenge? It's vengeance. It's the same stories over and over and over and over again, all consuming. And the life we had is not even in existence anymore, right? I mean...
That is correct.
That's okay. I'm okay with that.
But that's not the same for all of you. some of you have other people to go to, or if you make it through this, that you can go to. Whatever you need to get you through this, that's what you have to do. You are not alone, even though it seems as such. I will supply you with the tools needed, but there must be an end to this for you. There must be a goal at the end, whether that's vengeance, whether that's a reckoning, or whether that's whatever is on the other side. I can provide that as well.
Purdy? You okay? You're muted.
I'm not muted. I'm not
No,
muted. I just said it very low.
Stage whisper.
Yeah, for sure. Moment's gone now. Birdie will kind of like lean her head up and just not even react and just say, I'm in.
I want you to do something you haven't done before. I want you to take back part of this city, one death at a time. I understand killing is not a thing for any of you. You've all had your more than your share of death in your life. What I'm asking you to do is to do targeted, precision killing that will result in Marcus Strangleford and these other groups being taken down.
Have you met me?
Maybe you changed.
I'm the best shot in this fucking city.
I hear that. But you lost your last bet.
No. I won. She cheated. And she will pay for that.
Again, I give you the option now. You can all leave or individually leave. I will pay and book passage to anywhere in the islands you would like to go to. You can never come back to Dustfall if you do. Or you can stay and have your day of a reckoning.
Let's fucking play ball.
So if I am to understand this, we strike one by one, breeding, sowing seeds of fear with every kill, putting this creature, as we'll call it, to the point of madness, to where he will make a mistake. And then our vengeance will be so severe, we shall never have to fear respite in our cause.
No. No. Because when we get them, death is not going to be the end for them. It will be nothing. Their spirit, there will be nothing left. What they did.
So death is a kindness then.
It is too good for some people. I have a line on your first strike. If that's okay, I would like to point you in a direction. It'll give me some time to set up some things here to where you can come back and start to do your work. the noble Iramina, who started this for each of you. She left right after, actually right before the city council fell. She's coming back into town on the Gaddock rail here in a few days. If she makes it back to town, she will seal a deal between one of the other factions in the capital and here. And that would not be a good thing. Would you like to kill her? Good.
Yes, we are going to kill her.
I think about that time he raps on the stagecoats again and said, "'Cause we're here." And he, without even looking, kind of gets out of the carriage, opens up the door again, and stands out. He's standing in. You've gone now south. What seemed like a couple of minutes had to be 30 minutes to an hour. You're actually south of Dunslow, right outside the prison. You can see Ironhook Prison to the north of you. So you're south of there in the slums underneath, behind Ironhook Prison. And he says, "I have a Deathland scavenger that will take you out into the waste. You go out there 2 days, get onto find your way onto the train, and kill Iramina before she makes it to the station. I'll get you what you need. You have all your supplies. All you have to do is say yes."
I just realized you made a bet yourself. You made a bet that we would say yes. Otherwise, you wouldn't have brought us here with all of our supplies. You went all in.
You're what I have now. I deal with the cards that have been dealt to me.
I've never went in a span of however long time has passed from wanting to kill someone to respecting someone this quickly. So, you're welcome for that.
I think there's a dry chuckle in his voice. He just says, "You mortals always surprise me as well. Just when I think I have your measure."
I suppose if we are to have vengeance, then we shall have peace. Yes?
There must be blood first, and then you'll have your peace.
Oh, there's definitely going to be blood first.
Then I shall be more cold-hearted and violent than you are now.
He looks at you. And once you set upon this course, you cannot stop. There will be no quitting. There will be no shortcomings. There will be no half measures. You go all the way, all of you, until it is over.
And then when it's over, what then?
If we all still stand, then you're free to do whatever you want. I will personally assure that. If that's
I've never
here,
had goals before.
If that's here, then that's fine. If that's somewhere else, that's fine too. If you help me get the city back onto a right and proper, I will make sure that you want for nothing.
Feels good to have goals, doesn't it, Teddy?
Yeah, it does. You know, typically, I've always said to myself, to be a good killer, you have to shut off everything. They're not people. They don't have stories. They don't have families. They're just in your way. And you put them down. And now I want to know. I want to know everything about them. And then I still want to put them down.
Put them down hard enough that they will never come back.
Perdita, have you said anything this whole time? Or are you just... Is it just running through your mind?
Purdy said a while ago he asked, and she said she was in. But that's the only thing she said.
Okay. He looks over at a small waif of a woman that is kind of around the front of the cart. I think she is looking at the goats and like holding their faces and whispering and talking to them like they're people. And he looks at you all and says, Vendra is a Deathland scavenger. She won her independence from Ironhook by going out into the Deathlands 5 times. That's 4 more times than anyone else normally makes it. She knows the bogs and the miasmas. She knows what to avoid and where to go. She will take you 2 days out along the tracks so you can make sure that you have the right vantage point in order to get onto the rails. You'll enter the train, and kill Iramina. And when you arrive back here, my coach will be waiting for you. Is this acceptable?
Yes.
Yeah.
He walks over to Vendra, the young girl, and hands her a disc, a bronze medallion, and just says, payment as we agreed. There'll be another when this wears out. And Vendra doesn't even look as if to see that he's there, and his presence is not even the word is powerful. His presence is one you cannot avoid. You cannot not notice him. And yet she acts like he's not there. And she says, yes. I was just talking to them, and they said they'd be fine, and I will take your people to the place, and then I will make my 6th trip back, securing the record. And she kind of looks over as if just now noticing that he's there, and holds out her hand. He puts the bronze disc in her hand, which is as big as her hand. Quick as a whistle, she puts it under one of her coat pockets and says, "Are you all ready to go?" "Yes, we have to be ready. We have to go."
Teddy will look over to Purdy. Hey, Purdy. Right after this, remember that time that you were asking me if I wanted to go get that drink? Let's do that after this one.
Yeah, that sounds like a plan.
So Lord Skurlock walks back. He walks as if he's tired, as if maybe these memories actually took something out of him, as well as if he actually gave back part of his essence to you all with these memories. As he walks back, he walks beside you and looks like he is going to. He looks like he has a moment where he just not collapses, but he goes to catch himself on your against you and just puts his hand on the top of your shoulder to steady himself for just a brief second. And he kind of, without even saying anything, he just, "My apologies," and he walks on, and he gets into the cab.
Purdy probably would address that if she
go
could.
for it. Yeah.
When he touches her and he makes that motion, she probably would reach up and kind of grab his hand and just kind of say "Are you okay? Are you well?"
He says, "Purging the poison from you all took a lot. I am not at 100%, which is why I need you all to start this, but I'll be ready. Also, don't give up hope. You mortals, you surprise even me. He looks directly in your eyes as if he's kind of reading your soul.
Birdie will let him go.
Yep. He
Before
kind
he
of.
goes,
Yep. Go ahead.
no, Lord Scarlock, may I ask you a question? One question.
Yes, no.
What does it feel like to be you?
He takes a step onto the carriage and he looks to you with, if a vampire could be sad, sad eyes, and says, lonely. It feels lonely. And takes a step inside the carriage.
I thought so.
Vendra looks down at the ground where there's packs that have been kind of spread out and says, you all grab your packs. I'm not your pack animal. I will not be packing this for you. Grab your packs, so let's go. And turns around and starts walking off into the Deathlands. So the Deathlands, for everyone, the city of Dustfall itself has an electroplasmic fence. So think of it like a plasma electric fence that goes around the entire city. It keeps the vengeful spirits, the demons, the nasty stuff that swarms the Deathlands. The Deathlands used to be a place where everyone lived, and then because of the cataclysmic events, everyone revolved around the cities and basically leave the Deathlands to the feral, savage spirits and horrors and anything that could come up with. People don't go out into the Deathlands unless they want to try to delve into the past, like archaeologists try to go out and get things that were from ancient civilizations long ago and bring them back. And then people in Ironhook Prison, it's well known that people in Ironhook Prison can volunteer to go out into the Deathlands and try to bring something back of value in order to pay off their sentence. So that's what it sounds like Vendra probably did, and other people have done in the past. People brag about going out into the Deathlands. They don't. Most of the people that go out into the Deathlands don't come back, or come back changed, or are not aware of what they're really doing. You all know that the Gaddock line, the train that runs, it runs on electroplasmic lines, and so those spark off, so the spirits can tend to stay away from them. But you're not safe by any means, but you're safer than going to like the buildings and looking for treasures and stuff like that. So it's something you've heard of before, but never thought you'd go outside of the city except on the trains. Like this is not a nice stroll. You also realize that there's no light out here. The light comes from the electroplasm in the city. So all the light is to your back. That wall of light, it is all along there. But out straight here, there's no like my eyes are adjusting because the moonlight's out. There ain't no freaking moonlight. It's hard to see anything. And Vendra has, like, as she walks off, you see her take down this thing of glasses, and like basically she puts on these goggles that as she looks back in your eyes, you can see her pupils and everything are real big inside them, as if she's trying to grab every bit of light she can and use it to her benefit. So you all have like packs that have been delivered. I pictured this, the Deathlands. I never really knew what it was. I never could get a picture of it in my mind. And then I thought about that area in the last Mad Max where they've destroyed the earth, and like those saw creatures are walking into bogs and petrified trees and like gas blowing up everywhere, places, and just unlivable, nasty place. That's what it forms out into. This first area of Dunslow is where they're doing crops, and then they have the hydroponic lamp. They use electroplasm and run hydroponic lamps all around here in order to grow crops for the city. But as you start to walk away to that into the dark, that's when you already hear the squelching and the gas forming, like popping and bubbling and stuff like that. It also hits you. There's no noise. You're used to being in a city. So imagine living in a city your whole entire life and never leaving a city, and then being in nature for the first time in the middle of the night. How freaky that is. So what else do you think is out here? What else do you think when you think of the Deathlands, what else do you think about?
The dead.
The dead, the spirits. Yes.
It's their world, right?
So this is where feral spirits are released or become even more feral as they hunt down life essence in order to sustain them. So things don't live out here. This isn't a happy-go-lucky world where bunnies and squirrels play.
Let's never go there, Simba.
Right. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Anything that can't fight back has been killed already. Basically, it's been eaten by the dead. And so the dead are constantly out looking for people so people get released out in here and try to live. And there's supposedly some civilizations that can, but it hadn't happened too much. So the spirits, you won't see spirits constantly, but I do believe as you're walking, like these first couple hours, I'll give you some time to talk amongst yourself and stuff, but as you're walking these first couple hours, you do see spirits flying above you. And when you do, Vendra like gathers you all around her, and that disc grows warm as you see like a bubble kind of come over top of you all. And she says, this hides our presence. It hides our presence, but you shh.
Oh,
Talk.
yes.
I mean, you can talk, but shh, don't talk. And then she like starts talking to herself. So it's not like, yeah. So it's not like it's not like it matters. So what do you think as we try to wind down here for the next few minutes? So what do you think about when you think about the spirits? What do you think happens out here?
Jacob is like, where's the carcass of the purple worm from D&D or the worm from Dune? Where is that? Would like to find that, please. Thank you. But Teddy has this like renewed like energy, like after the memories have come in and come back in, and so finally like he's just really focused, rifle out, and Ollie right next to him.
Yeah, that's a great point. So let's go through and see where your characters are at mentally, physically. What are you doing? 100%. And it sounds like Teddy has. Again, you have a purpose. Vendra is ahead of you. You're going to the place. You know the thing. You're going to do the thing that you do. It's purpose driven. Have you had this since the army?
Never, not at all.
And with the army, was it given to you, or were you told here's what you do? Like
it's for a while it was a place of comfort because there wasn't a need to ask. Mm-hmm. It was point A, point B. And then after year 2 or 3, that started to kind of question. Like maybe we shouldn't be doing this. And then,
as you see more atrocities, and you see things. Yeah. And so like even though that like he's laughing because he's blown away that he got blindsided so hard after being so careful for so long, and so that regret is still like really like weighs heavily on him, but he doesn't show it because that purpose just overrides like any other logic. And he was afraid to let his guard down around these people, but now like there's no fucking choice. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Okay. Nell, what about you? Where do we see Nell as we kind of wind down this episode, as we walk off into the night? Where do we see Nell?
Nell is, in contrast to how she was in the carriage, not as freaked out or as emotional. She is serene. Like she doesn't have a care in the world out here, walking.
Okay.
Here.
Yeah. You feel at home? It's like, does this feel like home to Nell?
It feels as close as any place does.
Yep. Even within the city. Even within the city, this feels as close to home as what Nell has ever had.
Her little hideaway is the only place she feels this at this strength.
Yep. Maybe not since the orphanage.
Mm-hmm.
Not since getting kicked out and having to find a new place and then finding your hidey hole. But even then, even the hidey hole, there's fear that someone else is going to come in there and take it from you, just like the orphanage was taken away.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
But out here, no one can take that away from you. Ivanti, what are you feeling?
Well, if we go by motivation, Avanti doesn't really have much the same as the rest of them. It's not vengeance that's driving him right now. It's literally just survival. Sort of under the false mask of vengeance. Like, yes, let's all do this great, wonderful thing together. But for him right now, it's just survival at this point. Because the entire world is now completely different. It's empty. It's different. I mean, it's like a grave at this point to him. So out here, Avanti would just see or feel just afraid. There's things around him that know no right or no wrong. They just know hunger. So there's no comfort in that.
Absolutely.
And while the rest of them might hear the silence and think, wow, we're in the middle of nothing, it's like it's an absence of things around them. To Avanti, that silence is just a reminder of the presence of everything around him. Because it's just hyper-vigilance at that point.
What were the last words Dragomir said to you? I think it's gotten so quiet. Do you hear his voice one last time? One more time?
His last words would have been, I love you, but it has to be this way.
And is there hope in those words?
The complete absence of hope in his words.
Okay. Perdita. What are you feeling?
Perdita is consumed with this cold anger.
Yeah. I think as you walk, you start to itch your shoulder a little bit. And your hands start to itch a little bit, almost like reflex, as if you're thinking back to that poison that Lavender sprang on you. As you kind of mess with that, your mind starts to wander, and what happens is not that, but a new memory comes to mind. It's a memory of being in a crate. You feel like you're being wheeled around somewhere and you don't really understand what's going on. It's complete darkness, just complete and utter darkness, but you hear the wheels on this thing moving as if you're being moved somewhere. It's your body now. It's not a younger you. It is a now you. And you can't really understand what's happening. The briefest glances of light pour in, and you can't even open your eyes. You're still so sick. Your body is failing in ways that you never would have thought. But the light comes through the crate and into your vision, your periphery, and you hear the words of your brother Jonathan, and he says, "Purdy, the game has changed, but for now, Tag, you're it." And the crate slowly shuts back and pushes forward, and you hear him say, "Lord Skurlock, here they are." Fuck. And that's where we'll end it for the night.
Motherfuck! Nate, you're incredible.
Ooh.
Amazing job. Fucking put this session on your
Goddamn.
damn GM resume. Good Lord.
Jeez.
Want to
Christ.
thank you all for joining us for this first episode of Blades in the Dark, Blood In, Blood Out. I have told my players I was nervous, and I'm still nervous on this episode because I wanted to nail it.
You did.
I have been thinking
Do
about
not be
these for
concerned.
months.
You
Yeah.
100% nailed it.
God, yes.
Each one of these flashbacks, each one of these things has been in my head for months, is what I wanted to play out. And my characters, my players, I mean, you all are amazing. So, all hats off to you all as we start this new we start this new venture, I guess.
Holy shit. I'm so stoked. I just wanted to say that, first of all, again, Nate, incredible job. And also, thank you, Lynn, Josh, and Hannah for saying yes to me streaming it. Because I think that if we had done this privately, I would literally have been like caps lock yelling on Twitter for like all night. So holy fuck.
I mean, you're not going to do that anyway?
Yeah, I mean, I was going to say that. Yeah, it's like,
damn,
now
dog.
there's-
Damn,
But it is fun to share it with others. It is fun.
Yes,
it
absolutely.
is. Absolutely.
Yes, it is. So before we get out of here, first thing that I forgot to mention at the top of the show is a thing that me and Hannah are going to be at the end of the month, which is MomoCon. So we're doing some panels, some TTRPG related shit. So if you're in the Atlanta area at the end of the month, come say what's up to your boy and girl. You know what I'm saying? So just saying, a bunch of stuff, really cool stuff hanging out. We'll be hanging out over there. And before I do the typical amphitheater outro stuff, and because Hannah's here, we get to do the typical Blaze in the Dark airing of grievances, which we have not done in a really long time. If you have something, if you're not totally cool. But
The airing of grievances. Oh my god!
I missed that.
I
did
missed
you
it.
forget?
No, I mean, yeah, a little bit, but
I've been thinking about it for fucking months.
really?
Yes, I was like, I can't wait because he has got.
There's been a lot of.
Drop some bombs.
been,
There's
But
so
it's totally
much
build up.
right now.
there's been
There's
so much.
so
build up.
much.
I know, right? I know it's late. But first,
Well, it gave me something to live for, so
there you
it's exciting.
go. There you go. So Nate, you got to go first, man, because you fucking crushed it. So where can the people find you and what you're up to?
What's going on, everybody? I'm Nathan. I've been your narrator. You see him pronouns, and Twitter is basically the place to find me. I'm at Not Another Nate. Feel free to jump on there, yell at me about whatever. If you got questions, you want to play Blades in the Dark. I love this system. I love this setting. Love to see other people playing it and trying it out. So if there's something I can help you do and something you want to get together with, feel free to yell at me.
Hannah. Sorry, I should have waited like one more second. before you
Mid-drink.
quit drinking. My bad.
I'm Hannah. You can find me on Twitter at Stop That Old Woman. I only play in this game, and that's it. You can find me at MomoCon. I'm going to be on a panel Saturday morning at 10 on pivoting your interest in RPGs into a career. So if you want to learn about that or whatever, just hit me up. Otherwise, thank you very much for being here and being party to our completely not deadly at all shenanigans that are completely normal and well within the scope of normal behavior.
Fully healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
You don't need therapy at all.
Not when you can shoot everything.
No, Blades in the
I
Dark.
just don't want therapy. That's all.
Indeed. Lynn.
Hey, oh my god, I have missed this. When we're gonna do a Blaze thing, I was so happy. This gives me so much goddamn life. Oh man. I have to come down for a little bit after this.
Oh man, I'm not sleeping until like 6 a.m. I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, you can catch me on the socials at a Gremlin Art. Right, you can see my artwork, like the little characters that we have here. This group is so much. But next time you'll catch me is on Saturday for first in the early afternoon. It is Scion Birth of New Gods on the Wandering Society, where I play a little Kitsune Godling, and following that is a special time for Eualia Redwall story on this channel, where we will have special guests and a Zona Truth to start things. I am very excited.
I'm so stoked. It's gonna be very climactic. I have lots of truths to tell. It's gonna be good. Mitchell Saverick.
Hi. It's been a long time.
Yeah, it's true. 11 months,
It's been
yeah.
a long fucking time. Well, it's been 11 since I
back, buddy.
streamed stuff, but it hasn't been 11 months since I've been on something. I think actually the last thing I was on was probably the Silent Hill thing we did, wasn't it?
Yeah, our 10 candles right
So,
here on this channel.
Yeah,
in
that's
October.
Wow, gosh. Yeah, so I'm Josh. You can find me on Twitter at Sabrick. Like Hannah, this is the only thing I have going on. It's online presence at this point. I guess real quick, just thanks to all of you for coming back together and doing this again. I've really needed this in my life, if I'll be honest with you. And of course, like a big thanks to anybody that showed up tonight. I really appreciate it. It was nice to see friendly people out there in the world, giving their love. I really appreciate it. But I guess that's all I got right now.
Yeah, no worries, and familiar faces too from Blades of the Dark Past. So,
yeah, right.
Shout out to the Great Mustache. Good to see you, and some other folks too. As for me, Jacob Plake, Duwaki Jacob, here on the internets, Twitter, Instagram, etc. And this is the channel that I co-founded, where we play Eulalia 5e, a Redwall story, normally Tuesdays, and Wednesday, Duval's Gaming Journey, where I failed to play Super Mario World and ended up playing Pokemon Fire Red, but what can you do? But Thursday, this coming Thursday, over on Waffles Maple Syrup, we'll be playing episode 24 of Outcast and Outclass, where I play a Kitsune summoner with a Copper Dragon because it's awesome. And we already talked about Momocon and Duval and Dragons is this Sunday over on Twitch.tv/SoManyGames, who did the incredible intro and with a lot of help in Maddie admits because like really without Lynn's incredible art, there is no intro. That's a fact. And shout out to Josh for helping me find an incredible song that I listened to at least 500 fucking times. But we like to end every stream by saying the following things to remind you of what we're about here at the Empathator, and that is that Black Lives Matter and that trans rights are human rights. And also, by the way, abortion rights are human rights too. Just calling that shit out right quick. And that you're not alone, and even when all shit is dark and you're in the Deadlands, you're not alone. And you got people, and we're here, and we're happy that you're here too. And last, but certainly not least, Hannah, do you have anything for us?
Fuck Vladimir Putin.
There you go. So with that, we're gonna go ahead and I think let me check, make sure he's still on.
I was about to say, fuck Joe Manchin, because he's like,
Yeah, fuck Joe Manchin.
senator in my
Sinema
state, and it kind of hurts me every time I see his fucking face. So
no fucking worries. Well said. So we're gonna raise our friend of the show, Lonzo Gonzo, who's playing a little bit of Magic the Gathering, which I think would be a pretty decent fucking palate cleanser for this darkness that we just confronted. So have a wonderful night. We'll be back here Saturday afternoon for Eulalia 5e Redwall story, which will sure to be a good one, and then we'll be back here in 2 weeks for this. Holy shit, what a fucking start. And if you got here late and you like YouTube better, maybe stay tuned for later this weekend. Bye.
bye.